It is so easy to feel frustrated with a 1-year-old. There are plenty of us in this boat, I'm sure, so I'm here with some easy solutions today. Hey you guys, I'm Cassie from Custom Built Parenthood. If you're new here, I have 3 kiddos ages 7, 5, and 1, and I encourage and educate people to be happier, more effective parents. If you want to get more encouragement and information on how you can be the best parent you can be, I would love for you to subscribe to my channel and hit that bell so that you'll know about all of my new videos. So it's no easy thing to have patience with a 1-year-old. If they're toward the beginning of their 1-year-old career, they're probably slow, they might be whining a lot, maybe they're starting to want to do everything themselves. My little guy is at the tail end of his first year and he's pretty feisty and says no to me a lot and is a professional climber and mess maker. So let me tell you, the kid I'm around all day long is pretty much unrecognizable to the sweet little baby I had just a year ago. And this can be a pretty rough transition. Our kids grow so quickly, it can be hard for us as parents to keep up, honestly. Frustration is an emotion that's totally valid and totally okay to feel. I honestly feel frustrated a lot with my kids. More than any other emotion around our kids, I'd bet a lot of us can relate to this feeling of frustration with what our kids are doing or what they're not doing. I did do a little bit of research and found this definition very helpful. Frustration is an emotion that comes from being blocked from achieving an intended goal. I don't usually get too philosophical, but seriously, this has me pretty intrigued. So maybe to avoid getting frustrated with our 1-year-old, we just need to start questioning the goals that we have for ourselves, for our child, and for our life in general. And maybe this would help us feel less frustrated. So if our goals are unrealistic for our 1-year-old or our current stage of life, don't you think that it's time to reevaluate these goals? Let's say we're frustrated with our toddler that they're not doing what we ask them to do. Probably time to shift our goals. Instead of our goal being that our toddler will always be obedient, let's change our goal to finding win-win solutions. In any scenario, if we're constantly frustrated that our toddler insists on doing everything themselves, let's change our perspective. Instead of our goal being efficiency, perfection, or control, let's strive for raising a confident and competent child. Do you see that shift in goals and how that might help with our frustration level? I'm not going to totally leave you hanging with all these philosophical ideas. Let's address 2 main shifts that we can make to stop being frustrated with our 1-year-old. First thing is, don't rush a toddler. You really are banging your head against a brick wall if you're trying to get your 1-year-old to hurry, ever. I know it can't always be avoided, but avoiding rushing has really made the biggest impact on my frustration level. A goal of being on time for things is important and deserves to stay intact. So instead of compromising this goal, let's adjust our approach. Shift the way that we look at time. Expect things to take way longer than normal, and stop trying to cram as many tasks into a set amount of time, and stop rushing your child to grow faster. So let's dive deeper into those things I just listed. So expect everything to take longer. Start getting you and your 1-year-old ready to leave 15 minutes before it's time to go instead of just 2 minutes before it's time to go. This could drastically change both of your experiences each time you're leaving the house. That is a huge impact. You can let your 1-year-old take their time a bit more, allow them to do a few things by themselves, and let these extra minutes pass by as you watch their hard work and see the beauty in their determination. Let yourself feel calm instead of frazzled. That's a gift to you as much as it is to your toddler. Next, let's stop filling our days to the brim. We tend to want to cram as much into one day as humanly possible. I don't think I'm the only one to do this. Let me know in the comments below if this is something you tend to do. Then, when we do this, we wonder why we're frustrated with our 1-year-old for not keeping up. I'm most guilty of this one because I'm really concerned about efficiency and productivity, and it's really hard for me to be patient and compromise on opportunities to get more done, right? We all love checking things off our list, but sometimes that needs to kind of take a back seat to our toddler's pace. So one thing that I've done to combat this is recognize that time with my 1-year-old is really the top thing on my to-do list. And lucky for me, toddlers have even more fun helping us get stuff done than even sitting on the floor playing. So this is a perfect win-win solution, getting a few things done while also having quality time with my kid. So just decide right now that it's okay if everything takes longer and that you don't get as much done in a day. Nothing is more important than the relationship that you're building with your 1-year-old right now as you're doing this. The last thing is we should really stop rushing our child's development. Obsessing over milestones isn't helping anyone. It's important to be aware of potential delays. I talk about this in most of my videos. And hopefully you have a great pediatrician to help you out with this, to know what to be looking for and to be watching for that in your child. But this is way different than obsessing over it. So once you have that handled and you're kind of in the loop about what you should be watching for, then just seriously let go of any calendar or expectations that you have. Your child will do things when they're good and ready to do them. It is not your job to force them to hurry it up. You'll only be frustrated with your 1-year-old, and you might do more harm than good stressing over these things that are totally out of your control. So let go of that burden and actually just enjoy wherever your kid is at. They are growing so quickly, so there's plenty of things they're doing right now that all of a sudden they're going to stop doing them forever. They go through phases and you don't want to miss out on that. Okay, so the next thing is don't expect perfection. In order to have more patience with 1-year-old, you need to choose now to let go of expectations for perfection in yourself, in your 1-year-old, and in your life in general. I am a perfectionist, so I don't say this lightly, but it really is worth the tremendous effort that it takes. So let's first focus on you. Give yourself grace. Being a parent is just about the hardest thing on the planet, isn't it? It's so easy to get down on ourselves or beat ourselves up for mistakes that we're making, but this is all part of being human. So focus your energy on learning lessons and striving to be better. You're here watching this video right now, aren't you? So that's proof that you love your child and you want what's best for them, and you want to be the best parent that you can be. So just give yourself some slack. Model this positive self-esteem, forgiveness, and love for your 1-year-old. You're teaching them a lesson by giving yourself grace and being patient with yourself. You will be more likely also to be more patient with your 1-year-old when you're more patient with yourself. So just start practicing now. If you're frustrated with yourself, that will absolutely spill over and make you more frustrated with your 1-year-old. So after giving yourself grace, let's also let go of any expectations of perfection from our toddler. It's not possible for any of us to be perfect, so never put that pressure on your 1-year-old. A few areas worth mentioning are their behavior, milestones, and tasks. So when it comes to their behavior, throughout their 1-year-old career, a ton is happening in their development, and you can expect to start seeing glimpses of naughty behavior. We've talked plenty about this, your toddler's need for independence. So it shouldn't surprise you to hear that your 1-year-old will definitely start to test the boundaries. I'm sure you're already seeing this. Instead of being frustrated by this, be grateful that your toddler is on track. This is totally normal and important and healthy development for your toddler. So see it for what it is. This is appropriate for them to be doing, and see it as your opportunity to teach them. We talked about not rushing milestones already, but let's also choose to let go of perfection around these milestones. Your toddler might be doing really well with something and then start to digress. Don't hesitate to talk to their pediatrician, like I said, but really just choose to love and enjoy your 1-year-old regardless of the milestones. So we're not rushing them to get to that next milestone, and we're not taking it too hard if they are taking a few steps back. Sleep is a perfect example. Sleep digressions are totally real, and it can be really discouraging and frustrating, but see it for what it is. This is just part of life. We don't run on some clock, right? We're all different, and we all are doing things at our own pace. We take a few steps forward and a few steps back, and our toddler's gonna do the same thing, so don't let that become a frustration point with them. The other area that we should let go of perfection is around tasks that your 1-year-old does. You know, I'm a big fan of including your 1-year-old in any task possible to teach them that it's fun to be helpful. You also know that by including them, it can drastically reduce tantrums. We talked about that as well. The catch is you need to have patience of steel, and you have to let go of perfection. So the window is going to look much dirtier than how it started. The towels are going to be folded kind of ski-wampus. But your 1-year-old is gaining confidence and skills, and you are investing in having a lifelong helper, and it is totally a win-win. So after looking at yourself and your toddler differently now, let's also embrace an imperfect life. Oftentimes, we don't have much control over our circumstances. Sickness, teething, sleep digressions, grumpy days, all of these are to be expected and handled with grace. Work stress, family dynamics, personal struggles, all of these are just a part of life and need to be dealt with. The point of this is to not let your life circumstances get in the way of you being your best self for your child. Remember that none of us are perfect. Remember, give yourself some grace, and we're all gonna have bad days, but just try to be observing and dealing with your own emotions so that you're not projecting those onto your kid. As we avoid feeling frustrated with our 1-year-old, we will be kinder and more loving. We will encourage them to learn and create a more pleasant environment. And don't forget, we will enjoy our parenting journey so much more. If you enjoyed this video, go ahead and give it a thumbs up. It's a great compliment. I have enjoyed hanging out with you, and we will see you next time.